My name is Jeremy Treat. I'm originally from Alaska, but live in the heart of Los Angeles now, where I pastor a church called Reality LA. And I've spent so much of my life trying to find my identity in my accomplishments, my career, my performance. And yet, as a Christian, I am so grateful that a core part of my identity is that I am made in the image of God. And the Bible begins in the opening chapter with this declaration that all of humanity is made in the image of God. And that means that we resemble God, we're like God, but also that we are made to represent God's rule on earth. God is a great king, and yet he's chosen us to represent him. And so I'm just amazed by this as I think about myself. I mean, creation is filled with amazing things, the ocean, the mountains, but they're not made in the image of God. There's all these incredible animals, lions and bears and tigers, but they're not made in the image of God. And so God delights in us, his humanity, as those who reflect him and are called to represent his reign on earth. But this is something that not only is personal for me in understanding that I'm an image bearer of God, it changes the way that I view everyone else. Because I really believe that based on Scripture, all people are made in the image of God. And because all people are made in the image of God, all people have intrinsic value and dignity. And that might sound like an obvious idea that all people are equal, but it's actually not self-evident. It's not obvious. If you look at history and you think of caste systems or slavery or all the atrocious things that have happened throughout our world, most people don't believe that all are equal. That comes from the biblical idea that all are made in the image of God. And I'll share a way that plays out really practically in my life. I live in East Hollywood, and I minister there in East Hollywood, and there's a lot of people in our neighborhood experiencing homelessness. And in our church, we have a ministry where we serve breakfast and dinner every day to the poor and hungry in East Hollywood. And what we've learned to do is, because we believe that all people are made in the image of God, we see dignity first. All people have dignity because they're image bearers of God. And that's unique because most people, they see needs first. So if you come up to the Hope Center, which is our building where we serve meals Monday through Friday, and you see a group of people gathering for a meal, most people will look at that group and what they'll see first is their needs. They'll see torn clothing, disheveled hair, dirt on their skin. They'll notice the poverty. And those things are accurate. That's true. It's a part of these people's experience right now. But we believe every one of those people is made in the image of God. And so we see dignity first. We see that they are made by God and loved by God. And we don't give them dignity. We acknowledge their God-given dignity. And what it does when you see dignity first is it allows you to acknowledge people's needs without defining them by their needs, because they're defined as image bearers of God. This is such an important part of our identity. And yet as we look to Christ, he's restoring us into the fullness of that image. That's good news.